I'm gonna get back to that story, Sonny. Just, just you listen to Boomer Great One. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
The reason I'm dressed like this is we went and got an early dinner like older people do, like at 4 p.m. Sensible older people. And then, oh, there's this place we like to go. They have dancing. Well, the dancing doesn't start till 9. Like, woo. That's a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5 time. That's a lot of sitting in my pajamas and not going out time. I really am becoming like the great one. I really am. So we are in limbo. We're in a holding pattern as to whether or not I'm going to go out with my family. Look at this jacket I used to wear when I was in banking. How old am I? Look at that. Still fits because I'm not a fat pig. Anyway, continuing on with the originals. I just had to tell this because it's people, you got to do more videos on Minnesota. I'm like, not really. No, I don't. But having lived there this entire time, and a friend of mine from Chicago, who I went to school with, college. He also went to the University of Minnesota. Smart enough to get out. He emailed me. He's like, "Have you been warning these people about it for 40 years?" I'm like, "Well, not 40. That would indicate I went to school at 10. But 30 years, yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, all these people you let in and just collect what? Forget, guys, forget. I said, forget about the roof. Forget about the roof. They got the guys all over the place. You want to stay alive? Stick with me. Forget about this 8 to 18 billion dollars. Guys, it's the decades of welfare, not just immigrants took, but the whole welfare group took out of Minnesotans and the feds and the federal tax bill, the nation. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. And while Minnesota is in the hot seat, I got to explain this to you guys. Nothing is going to change. The only thing that can change, and I don't think there's legal precedent, although I'm wondering what would be required of a federal takeover of a dysfunctional state. I looked into it, and you can't kick a state out. Although a war could solve that. We could do whatever we want with war. But except a federal takeover, which let's say they found out there actually was fraud going on. Oh my God, surprise. And the highest ranks of Minnesota government were involved. Then you could come in and arrest them. And then I guess you'd have other elections. I guarantee you, boys and girls, I guarantee you, the good people of Minnesota, yeah, especially those of you in the suburbs who know everything because you went to the university, yeah, they're just going to put in a new dickhead, right? Chicago, same thing. You had Lori Lightfoot, dumb, really a dumb, low IQ person. Oh my God, she's horrible. And then they hired this pussy teacher guy who's never worked a day in his life and only knows other people's money. The problem isn't the charlatan who's really good at getting elected at that moment in time. It's not the politicians. The politicians are a symptom of the problem. In Minnesotans, it's not that they're dopey. There's that element too, but they're brainwashed. They're absolute brainwashed. And the reason they don't mind, the reason they don't care that a group of just this one instance of people, there's many more, happen to steal somewhere between $8 and $18 billion. And you've seen, I don't know if you pay attention to the news media outlets and all that, they rally around thieves. They do. They defend it. It's because that's all they got, guys. Minnesotans as a community and a culture, of course, there's conservative people who would disagree, I know. But overall, Minnesotans think they know everything about running a society. They actually think they can get a utopia to work. Incredibly reinforced, although this is not specific to Minnesotans, but reinforced by the social sciences, who are frauds and fools who claim to know how society works. It's a science. We figure it out. So then why is everything going to shit? Like literally the past 100 years of social science research should just be thrown in the garbage and thrown away. It doesn't work. You don't know what you're doing. But Minnesota, they cannot imagine themselves being wrong. They can't imagine that they got hoodwinked. They can't imagine that their naivete. This is not kindness, by the way. It's bragging. Minnesotans love virtue signaling, how great and selfish they are with their own money, their own kids, and other people's money. We're, oh, no, that's not nice. Oh, my goodness, you need to pay more taxes because that's how we become successful now. And now that did that happen in Michigan? A Muslim majority city council got elected, and they ended the Pride parade or got rid of the Pride flags. And then the Democrats, the LGBTQ part of the Democrat party that got them elected, like, I can't believe you did this. Minnesotans they will not admit they just got screwed. And they're going to continue to get screwed. Right? It's kind of maybe a better way to paint it is, I've used this example before. Take your 58-year-old feminist. It's over. She's lost all of her physical youth and beauty. No guy wants to have sex with her anymore. Probably not that attractive anyway. She has no eggs. If anyone was interested in having kids with her, that's gone. She has no money. Because let's just admit it, feminism really is just Marxism with tits. It's not about equal rights for women. It used to be about that, and you would have gotten everyone to come with. Now it's just give me money because I have a hole and not a stick between my legs. That's really what it is. I'm oppressed. Give me money. That's all it's become. So she probably doesn't have a real job, didn't save up anything, spent her entire life avoiding work. And avoiding work, that also meant you avoiding the labor involved with individual accomplishments like staying in shape or maybe building a house or some kind of art. There's no redeeming qualities or traits about this individual human being. They're just a miserable old spinster prude. What does she have left in life? I'll tell you right now, I got friends, of course, my age. They have kids now. And a lot of these kids are getting a little bit older. Some are even off to college now. That's how old I'm getting. But I remember, we want to send them to the central schools because they need diversity. They just got the crap kicked out of them. And they got a shitty education. Above all else is their pride. They cannot admit that they are wrong. And I don't mean that socialism is wrong, although that too. It's this Minnesota utopianism, their special little breed, their variant of socialism they got. And they just can't believe someone with the most basic of street smarts came in there and kind of, I don't know, how many Minnesota, do you want to do some math here, kids? I know the Minnesotans aren't going to care about this. They love their politics and their ego and their socialist pride more than they do their own damn kids. How many Minnesotans have student loan debt? 787,000. Total debt, 26.9 billion. Okay, so there it is. 34,000 per owner. Well, right there, if we do the math, let's say it's eight is about a third. You could have forgiven a third of the Minnesotan, right? If the state wanted to, instead of paying fraudsters, you could have taken that money for actual Minnesotans. If you Minnesotans can, I know you Minnesotans get off on being self-sacrificial and how much more self-sacrificial you are than the next Minnesotan. I know you get off on that shit. I'm just pointing out, if you dare to consider Minnesotans, particularly your kids, a third of their money could have been paid off student loan debt. That's on the low end. If we did the 18 billion, and they got 27 billion on outstanding, 2/3 could have been paid off, 67%. They don't care. If you didn't have all these immigrants in here, you would have legal or illegal. This isn't a math issue. It's an how much more affordable would housing be? And guys, you can all look at it. Everyone staying outside could look at it and see. You can say, "Oh my God, they just stole." What percent GDP is that? Minnesota gross state product, Minnesota GSP. What percent of that all went away? German short hair puppies for sale. What? Okay, I gotta type out gross state product. Can't just put GSP. 395 billion. It's a couple percentage points. 18 divided by 395. That's almost 4.5%. 1/20th of your money gone. Hey, that's a 5% tax rate. Although I guess how much of that 18 billion fraud, if it's on the high end, 18 billion, is over what period of time? But while we're at it, let's just throw in all the welfare that you give everybody. That's certainly more than 5%. They don't care. They don't care. Like the feminist who's going to double down, the 58-year-old spinster-prude feminist who has nothing else in her life. Minnesotans do not have anything else in their lives. They don't love their kids. They don't care. If anything, it's like, oh, my kid's I got a request from a guy at 2 couples in Minnesota. Surprised. They're so excited and proud that their kid went trans. And then he gave me 2 stories. I don't know if the kid died. No, the kid didn't die. The old man died. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It's more important that they look at my son, the good leftist, or now daughter. Doesn't matter. All they have is their ego and pride. Ego and pride and some great artwork? No. Ego and pride and their industriousness and gross state product and economic productivity? No. Ego and pride in sports and the ability to win games and prove some great athleticism? No. Well, what is their ego and pride in? Is hating themselves and getting screwed over purposely and virtue signaling how magnanimous and selfless they all are. Won't that open them up to being taken over literally like slaves? Yes, it will. Don't they have the self-preservation instincts to kind of know that's a bad thing? No, they don't. If anything, they're going to double down on look at how much I'm defending people who are stealing our money. By the way, in fairness, of course, not all Somalis are taking money. Only 80% of them are on some form of government aid. And by far, they're not definitely by far, they're not the largest group consuming the resources. That'd be Native Minnesotans. Of course. Minnesotans, that's the one thing. What was it? I don't know if they were talking about Lutherans, although it probably could have. It definitely applies. Other Christians out there, you might know this saying. They hate their members, but they love the criminal prospective convert. Like you could have the most douchebag, you could have a criminal scumbag, but if they might join Jesus or Christianity, they're, oh my God, but anyone in there, fuck you, you're a sinner. That's Minnesotan. That's very Minnesotan. Oh my God, you're not one of us. Let me display to everybody how amazing I am, fucking them over so I could give you preferential because I care. Well, you love me because no one loves me because I'm a fucking bitch. That's Minnesota. There you go. And they won't. They are too prideful to let go of this. No matter how much it's failed, no matter how many people are leaving the state, the real men and women, no matter how many people aren't investing, no matter how much criminality takes place, whether it's white collar or regular, what is it? There's no such like blue collar crime. Is that? I understand white collar crime. You never heard blue collar crime. That's just crime, right? I mean, you literally, the Hennepin County DA lets criminals go because it makes her hot, I guess. It turns her on. Oh, criminals. I love it. Oh, my God, that's hot. it doesn't matter what a fucking self-destructive zoo Minnesota becomes, because that's all they have is their own self-destruction. Somebody looked into it, and I asked, is there a cult out there? Let me look it up. Russian cult that cut off genitalia. Oh, you mean like the public school? No. The Skoptsi. This is a crazy self-destructive cult. I want to know if there are instances in history where, like the Flaglators, that was a radical group of psychopaths that would whip themselves for Jesus. You guys are just doing it for Karl Marx. It's rare, but it happens. And I've been telling my buddies, I've been telling my friends, I'm like, you got to get out of there for many reasons. There's no room for economic growth. Your prices are just going to go up. Crime is just going to go up. There's no friend. You really can't have a good friendship in Minnesota. Everything is based on the cult. Everything is, you're either a socialist and you do the Minnesota thing and vote to spread your ass cheek a little bit wider, or you're a fascist. There's really no in between. Legally, obviously, if you happen to be the wrong race and you're in a certain county, they will prosecute you and throw you in jail. There's no reason to be there. And on top, it's not a fun place. These aren't fun people to be around with. They're very reserved. They're very seclusive. They're very arrogant. You got to get in their little niche, their little, again, although this could be said though, at the entire United States, it's just middle school for adults. If you didn't go to fucking some suburb that started with an E and play hockey with all the other douche canoes, oh my God. I will admit I found some really good friends in St. Paul. But most of them all left. They were smart. But yeah, but anyone who is saying you need to get out of there, please don't be the standard American though. Like, oh, that will take effort. Guys, you either leave the sinking ship or you don't. I don't care. I know I give him a lot of guff, but DT, he left. The man left. I got some people. I'm like, guys, you got to get out of there. You got to get out of there. But for the rest of you onlookers, we're like that French meme where all the arrogant French people. Maybe more it's like the gladiator. I guess it's the gladiator. That's more what it is. I guess that's more analogous. We're all in the stands, or maybe we're the rich aristocracy of the Roman, and we do the thumbs up. We have purple robes. We're the fancy ones with the figs in our hair. Instead of being Christians to lions, we're being Minnesotans to themselves and immigrants and welfare bums and criminals. The Minnesotans just run and jump into the mouths of the lions. Oh, I'm such a good person, yeah. By the way, people don't talk like that in Minnesota anymore. They talk like this. And like, oh my God, everyone talks like they're Fresno. And you're just such a patriarchal bastard. And if you think there's any reasoning or rationalizing with these people, it's not going to happen. I got other people I know, they bought property in Minneapolis. The city tweeted out some like property owners, something. I say, but no one owns property. They rent it from you, the city. You see how clever that was? Well, it's true. The property tax rates are going up in Minneapolis, 7.8% this year. And they will pay it. They'll never move. And if they move, they'll vote Democrat somewhere else, not knowing that they're voting Democrat and leftist for essentially, it's not necessarily the Democrat Party per se. It is voting for parasitic policies. And they will never give it up because there's nothing else. There's nothing else but good old-fashioned Minnesota socialist. Come on in. Oh, you wouldn't steal from us now, would you, eh? Oh, my God, my daughter, she told me to fuck off. I was part of the white patriarchy. Lena, am I that bad? Yes, Herman, you are the whole. I'll go cut my nuts off like a good Minnesota man. There's the great, let me tell you another Minnesota pastime. You guys don't know about this. There's the great ball tossing where every man, once they've reached 30, they get the right to vote like a mensch. No, they go on a bridge over the Mississippi and they cut their balls off and they toss it in the Mississippi River. They bye-bye their manhood. And then they're allowed to marry. That way, when wifey poo wants to send their kids off to some fucking overpriced liberal arts college at Carleton at the expense of $600,000 for 3 kids, then the father, okay, I'll go take out the 401k. Just leave, man. Just leave. Ain't no reason to be there. Ain't no reason to be there. So yeah. So watch it. Just watch. They're gonna defend. Oh no, there's nothing going on. Oh no, these are contributing members of society, and we know what's best. And either Waltz and Omar and all them, they'll all get reelected. They will. Or if for whatever reason they happen to be found guilty of fraud, a whole new set of Batman villains will come in. And they'll just be more of the same. Different people, but more of the same. Cyberbully, $5. I'm 28 and have about 120,000 invested so far in index funds and a 401k. Scared that my peers who aren't saving will steal this from me someday. Yes, they will. And they already are. It's called inflation. They won't tax it, but they will print money away. Although the irony is, so your purchasing power goes down, but the S&P 500 is one of the best hedges against inflation, historically speaking. Future that may not hold, but yes, people are going to steal from you because we live in a democracy. And it's popular to vote for free shit paid for by other people, then be confused why inflation happens. Bob, $2. Look at me. I'm the captain now. They're the captain. They're the daycare provider. They're the media. Joe Spinella. Generous $20. Minnesotan here, Lakeville. Italian too, bibbity boppity. I lived about a year in Lakeville while my house was getting built. I'm very familiar with here. Taught dance classes in Lakeville. Italian too. I've never felt like I fit in here because of the passive aggressive and pride. I felt more at home 1 week I was in New Jersey. No, I won't move there. There is a plan. Jersey and those East Coast states, Pennsylvania, Delaware, I guess to a lesser extent, but definitely New York and New Jersey. They're honest. They're honest. Yeah, you guys are all a bunch of dopey Democrats because of unions, and you still think it's 1972. But yeah, the Minnesota socialism is just this passive aggressive, wicked, elitist. It's like I said before, watch my previous video. It's the worst of both worlds, materialism and socialism. I guess a better to simplify it, they're like the theater kids of the nationwide high school that we have. They're the theater kids. Yeah, and I would get out of Minnesota. Minnesota does not deserve your labor. It does not deserve your taxes. It does not deserve the materials or the service you provide and produce. You should go, literally go to New Jersey. Go anywhere else. Even at least California's got decent weather. But yeah, get out. Just get out. Cyberbully, $2. Minnesota is like a poorly run European country. It's even worse than that. Maybe Scandinavian countries, maybe because of the common Scandinavian heritage. It's its own level of wackadoo. It's this supremely arrogant person, and you're looking at him like, why are you arrogant? You're not good looking, intelligent, accomplished, thin, fuckable. There's not a redeeming quality about you, yet you have this arrogance about you. If I could, I would, and I think I do, I prevent as many people from working in Minnesota or investing their time going to school in Minnesota, investing in Minnesota, working in Minnesota. You don't want to go there. You absolutely do not. Devious DJ Act. Aftershock, $5. In my observation, normie yuppie suburban Dems regarding the Somali fraud or any other issues often dismiss it as Trump lies or don't believe it's happening. Yeah, we don't want to disturb the precious little suburbanite world. Hey, they're going to get disturbed because you can't afford housing. Now, that's not solely due to immigration. That doesn't help. Anytime you have more people in the country as opposed to less, housing prices are going to go up. It's that Minnesota is very guilty of this. Everybody had to go to college. Minnesota has like that I know better than you college liberal arts grad smugness because they all went to college. It's like you don't have a good college in this entire state. Not one. Not one. I mean, they're not absolute horseshit, although some of them are, but you're not that smart. You're just not. And so again, they can't believe, well, you're right. They can't believe it's happening. It couldn't happen under their watch. Oh, they wouldn't do it. Trump's got to be lying. I'm awfully tempted to like set up an organization. Like, look, you want to cheat? By the way, Minnesotans are so smart. They voted to get rid of voter ID. So one person can vouch for 8 people to go and vote. I'm not kidding. Somebody set up a system where you just bust people in from out of state and go take over their vote. Like, oh my God. Look at that. Republicans dominated in Hennepin County with more votes than people who live here. And they'd still, like, because Democrats cheat in elections. Oh, no, they wouldn't do that. No. No, they're good people now, don't you know? How dare you, guy with funny mustache, kill you? They would make the nicest Nazi. Oh, now listen, you better go get in this cattle car there now, don't you? Oh, don't you be mean about it. This is good for the people. You've been very naughty saying that you want low taxes, a balanced budget, and term limit. You get on that cattle car now. Don't make me hit you with the billy club now. You don't want us to shame you and call you names, do you? That's right. You get in there. Bye. Have fun at the camp. We did it now. We killed all those bastard conservative Republicans. Now we have our soul. Why is everything on fire? No, they want to tell. Must be the Trump. Oh, yeah. Did you know that? Yeah, of course I have. Of course. Everyone sent it to me. Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field who does not live in Minnesota. $5. Happy New Year, you British cigarettes. Have you been drinking already? Hey, by the way, Alex, I saw your workout video. So you do have a workout facility in your backyard or something? Because I know he has his workout routine when he drives a truck. Devious DJ Aftershock, $5. A lot of those suburbanites now vote Dem just to oppose Trump and the GOP. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Like the GOP is the devil incarnate. The Democrats could murder their children, enslave everyone to the welfare state, and they will still vote Democrat because you absolutely cannot vote You cannot vote Republican. That's worse than playing with kids like the public school teachers do, if you know what I'm saying. They actually like that. That probably turns on a lot of Democrats now that I think about it. Okay, I got to come up with something different. I voting Republican, they literally, that's a reason to get ostracized, a reason to not get hired. Yeah. View subservient to Trump rather than actually Democratic policy agreements. Yes, you cannot vote I mean, you can, obviously people do. But that's the worst thing ever is that you vote for the Republicans. Houston, $5. Should I rely on inflation eroded debt nowadays to pay off my very new 30-year mortgage ASAP? I'm 25 and in rural North Carolina. Carolina's Carolina is nice. Good for you, Houston. Yeah, I really like North Carolina. It depends on your interest rate. If your interest rate is less than the rate of inflation, you do not pay it off. If your interest rate is higher than the rate of inflation, then you do pay it off. But there are probably other forms of debt that are much higher interest rate, like a car loan or a student loan or a credit card debt. I would pay those off more because they have higher rates of interest. Generally, the mortgage is the last thing you pay off with the extra money. I would, however, just to accelerate the amortization, assuming you plan on staying there for a while, take some money, make a couple extra principal payments, just to accelerate that amortization. And that's about the best you can do. But yeah, if you got 3% or higher interest rate, I wouldn't pay it off. Or I'm sorry. If you have a 3% or lower interest rate, I wouldn't accelerate my payments. If it's a 6-7%, which I think is what the going rate is now, I would. It's not the worst thing, not the most immediate thing, but it ain't the worst thing. Like, so if you had extra money and was burning a hole in your pocket, toss it in the mortgage, sure. Devious DJ Aftershock, $5 while lecturing you about principles at the same time. Oh yeah, don't get me. That's one thing that infuriates me. When you're young and stupid, you don't know, like, oh, maybe I am a bad person. Well, okay, and just they thought they were so much better because at the end of the day, all they wanted to do was take other people's money and give it to other people to be popular. And that made them good and moral and just people. And you're a bad person. I mean, literally, I'm an evil person. Akin to when I said maybe Christians should have more sex, and not everyone, but the weirdos came out. You're the devil himself. You're a demon. You're trying to get everyone to be lustful. Buddy, if I was a demon or the devil himself, I would be a lot fucking richer than I am now. Yeah, they think they know what's good and right. They actually think they're morally superior people with your money, of course. Mi Verda, the king. 10 generous dollars. 2 cyberbullies, European country comment. Mina Germans seem to have the same self-shame as the Germans. Oh, Minnesotans seem to have the same self-shame as the Germans because goose step in history. It concerns me that Minnesota is a EU Trojan equivalent to destabilize U.S. empire because inclusivity. Yes, it is. I will tell you this. The people at the top, like, what's his name? Waltz, his lieutenant governor, Ellison, the DA, all of them, like your top-notch ones, they are communists. They are using this to get as many immigrants into the United States as possible to destroy it. They want to destroy the United States. The way to do this is hide behind the shield of you hate the poor, you hate immigrants, you're a bigot and against this group of people. And they just want to flood as many. That's what Biden was doing. Although, okay, Biden wasn't doing it. Biden was... That's what they're doing. I hope Trump realizes this is a war. You better get in there and start arresting everybody. You better send everybody back. Because the Republicans aren't going to have the feds for long. It's going to go Democrat again. I'm keeping a close eye on what happens. Like, you got to turn this around, or this country. I mean, of course, the country's going to go belly up anyway, but it'll go belly up within my time. Like, if you can't kick people out that came here literally to steal money, enabled by people who brought them here, and I don't know if it's treason or sedition, I don't know which one it is, so they could get forever votes. Corruption, certainly. If you're not going to put a stop to that, and every state can be its own import of people that hate the country, all right, fine. Mi Verda, $2. And as Mandami in New York welcomes a culture that to front America's capitalism once powerhouse, the barbarians have entered the gates and we invited them. Well, we didn't. Our wives did. Oh my God, come in. Oh, will you want some cookies? I'll have my husband buy more. You like me, right? I'm popular. Am I popular with not the Americans? Okay. As long as I'm popular, that's all that really matters. What about you kids? Like, well, no, popular. Femboy Fantasia, $5. The Polestar is the ultimate Twin Cities car. Conspicuous consumption and trying to buy virtue like they buy their family's affection. The Polestar? What's a Polestar? Polestar, electric car. The hell is this? It just looks like any other electric car. Was this another one? What? So Rivian, aren't they going belly up? Polestar news. All the 2020 Polestar recalls listed by model. Polestar profitable. 49% revenue. That's not what I asked. I know. Post smaller 1/4 loss. So you lost money. Revenue, net loss. Oh, net loss. Your net loss doubled. You doubled the amount of money you lost. Do you guys remember the book? There were two of them, Things White People Like. I'm not joking. There's 100% criticism, completely fair criticism. White people also like companies, startups that never make money. That's another thing white people like. They love companies that always post losses, apparently. Vito, our Italian agent in the field, $5, €5. Although I'm free to move to the EU with my ID card, I have my passport in hand, have met no one who knows flag theory and with an up-to-date passport. Wow, flag, you mean like Rouge flag theory? Like 20 years ago flag theory? I got to imagine you're one of the more different thinking Italians out there, especially for your age, Vito. I can't imagine the young Italians are doing, it isn't like the 50s movies where they're driving around on scooters with freaking cravats and everyone's being really, really neat and fashionable. Uber noob, $5. South Korea rebuilt all their traditional palaces that the Japanese destroyed during the occupation. Just go to a culture that respects itself. I think that is the next step. I am looking at Asian cultures because they seem to like themselves. They behave. Is it too crazy of me to want an area where you don't shit in the street? I've been looking at Muslim countries. You say, well, Muslim, don't they hate Westerners? And I'm like, kind of got a point, don't they, though? And I'm not saying demise and all that, but you know what? They cut your hands off if you steal. Dubai, I bet you there ain't people shitting in the streets. You got rules. Maybe I don't agree with all the rules, but at least they got them and they follow them. At least there's a discipline, a code of conduct. I mean, it's like John Wick. The rules, Jonathan, were simply animals without them. Haywood John Blomi, $5. As insufferable as Californians are, somehow Minnesotans slightly outdo them in the fart sniffing level of pretentiousness, masquerading as smart. Yeah, it's what I don't get is why the parents and the adults don't tell them to fuck off. I know the fathers are aware they're not going to get laid anymore, but after a while, my God, Minnesota, man, when do you tell your kids, fuck off, get the fuck out of here? No, me and your ma are leaving. You can, nope, we're selling the house. You voted Democrat, you voted the race, you made it harder for me. Cool. Go fucking marry the state. These are your people now. We're going to whatever, North Carolina, going to Dubai. Mark Magana, $2. What's up with silver, China or hype or both? I don't know. I don't really pay attention to it. I know it went down by 10%. I was like, oh, I really should sell some. I'm like, where am I going to sell it? I got to sell it. They're going to stab me on the the premium, the spread. If I could buy land with it directly, but I don't know who's going to trade in at $70 an ounce. It could be China hype, both. Who knows? I don't. Pay me enough, I'll go study it. Dre, everybody's least favorite black person. How you doing, Dre? $2. Happy New Year, Cappy. New Cappy just shorter and angrier at 4'6". Good for you, Dre. So is already New Year's over there where you are? Or does it go the other way? Are we before you? I don't remember how it worked. I just knew if I went west, it was the day before somehow. It threw me off. But west, it's always like, isn't it later there? Like as the sun, because it's going to be, never mind. I couldn't figure it out. Easy ZQ, $2. What do you agree, disagree with TFM? Not much. I disagree with him on rescinding women's rights to vote. I believe the franchise should be meritocratic. Like you have to pay taxes or you have to be employed. Because merely preventing one group of people based on a trait that doesn't fully solve the problem. Because there's men who vote like idiots too. You need to be a contributing member of society to vote. And there's contributing members of society in all different groups of people, and there's not contributing members of society in all groups of people. So there's that. I'm very, if not 100% sympathetic with his approach with sex dolls, but I would never have a sex doll for myself. I would just be like, no, it doesn't, not for me. I don't preclude other people from having it. I don't know if that's really a disagreement. I do not have quite the critique of the Jews that TFM does, but I haven't listened to all that he has said. I should tune into him. I haven't listened to him in a while. So not a lot. Yeah, there's not a lot, but there are some things. Uber Noob, $5. You'd love Tokyo. It's like a well-oiled machine. When people go up the escalator, they stand on the left side. It's unexpected when someone screws up. Yeah, I just want to go. It's not crazy. I want to go to where people don't shit in the streets. I want to go where criminals are not celebrated, slept with, and let go free. I want to go where people like themselves and their hobby or the way they show value in life is not by showing how much they hate them and people like them. I want to go live in a sane society. And I've even thought about, well, if I don't know the language, I can't get worked up about the local politics. I just won't care. But I wouldn't do that. I'd learn the language because I'm not a dickhead. The King, $2. Heard this is the spot with all the cool power walkers. No, I'm not a power walker. I hike fast. That does not make me a power walker. I did a real good hike today. I was flying. It was cool today. Very cool. So I can go faster when it's cool. All right, there you guys go. Link below if you want to know the mental illness that definitely Minnesotans have, but to a larger extent, a lot of leftists have. Go pick up my essay called Sanity is the Future of Wealth. Do look out for my new essay. It's not a book. It's an essay, though. It's targeted towards Christians called I Don't Want to Have a Threesome with Jesus. And if you are looking to move somewhere nice like North Carolina, get my book Reconnaissance Man. Let's say you happen to be a hardworking person in Minnesota, right? You probably would like to leave, like our Italian friend down in Lakeville. Get the book Reconnaissance Man so you move to a place where it doesn't fucking suck and white women aren't becoming judges to let criminals go because they hate the country and their men. Maybe you go where you don't need people throwing you a parade every day, but if you could have them at least stop stabbing you in the back, that might be nice. In the meantime, to all you Minnesotans who know better, good luck with that. Whatever you do, though, you can't move out. You can't move out because then you have to admit you're wrong and you need to stay there. You need to stay there and live in your utopia. Otherwise, you're wrong. See you guys later, Toodles.